Good girl. Not a word to anyone. Stick to your story and watch your step. You're not out of danger yet, my girl.
Stevens. I've been thinking over that little proposition of yours. There is no way I'm going to risk my neck bringing things in here for you.
Perhaps it's time for me to use the tape.
Look, the best I can do is turn a blind eye at visiting time if you've got someone to bring the stuff in.
Well, if that's the only option, I'd better take it. But I need to use the phone right now if I want to get things moving. Otherwise, Minnie Donovan is going to take over.
Not while I'm alive.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, officer. Could I please see the governor?
Yes, I think she's free. If you just sign in, please, over there. Mrs. Barfield, will you take Mr. Hansworth through to Mrs. Reynolds' office, please?
Yes, of course. This way, Mr. Hansworth.
Mrs. Reynolds? You're in for a surprise. It's the minister. He's on his way down now.
I'm sorry to take you by storm like this, Mrs. Reynolds.
That's all right, sir. Please sit down.
It's this Richards problem.
I'd heard he's being transferred.
It's a sorry business. Ever since you took over from Ted Douglas, we've had one disaster after another.
Has a replacement been appointed?
Not yet. What we need is someone with a right attitude. I decided I'd better come along and take a look at the prisons myself first. Get a feeling for the problem areas.
Well, of course, I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. The main problem, as far as I see it, is recidivism. No job, back to crime, back to Wentworth. But if we could train the women as secretaries, as hairdressers and so on...
I think you're absolutely right, Mrs. Reynolds. That's the most commendable idea.
Then you'll put it to the board?
Well, I don't think we'd have much luck at this point of time. Unfortunately, we're rather hamstrung by our current budget limitations. Such a scheme would be rather costly to implement.
But surely it'd eventually pay for itself by lessening the number of prisoners.
I think the board would need a guarantee of that before it undertook such a scheme.
So we're back to the chicken and egg.
Ah, don't despair. I'll certainly get the department to look into it. Now, how about a tour of the premises?
Certainly, Mr. Hansworth.
Greetings from Barnhurst. Today we welcome Wentworth to our 3 p.m. and we start the ball rolling with message time.
Oh,
First, here's a message
beauty! I
from
bet we
Rhonda.
get a message from
I'd just
me.
like to say hi to my old mates, especially the backgammon team. And I wish I could join them at the game on Tuesday night. And now from Joe to Sally.
Oh,
Happy
get off!
birthday.
We want to
Have
hear
one for me.
Ben.
Before our next message, here's a song requested by Chipper. I was stoned and...
Oh, then we won't be able to hear Ben now.
Be on again after tea. I'd like you to meet Mr. Hansworth, the Minister for Corrective Services.
Pleased to meet you, sir. Mrs. Donovan.
I'm delighted to meet you, Mrs. Donovan.
You couldn't have come at a better time.
Really?
We women are very much in favour of a job training scheme to give us a better chance when we get out.
Your enthusiasm does you credit. But might I suggest you elect yourselves a delegate and put your proposal to the governor?
We've already done that.
Good, good. I'll leave it with you then.
But why aren't the department interested in rehabilitating the prisoners?
It'll be put to the board, but the budget's very tight.
That money problem's a load of old cobblers, and you know it. What about the cost of keeping us in here?
The department supports classes like pottery and basket weaving.
It's not going to make a living for anyone. They need to learn proper jobs.
The department does what it thinks best.
Oh, Mrs. Reynolds, just 2 things. Mrs. O'Regan's gone off sick, and the new warder's arrived.
Oh, David Bridges. Well, I better go meet him. Oh, would you get Birdsworth to take over in the kitchen, please, and take Donovan back?
Come on, Donovan.
But we haven't finished...
That's all, Donovan.
You've lost your gut since you came here, Mrs. Reynolds.
Lucy, Mrs. O'Regan's gone off sick and wants you to supervise in the kitchen for the rest of the day.
Bet that, Mrs. M. You got to get a beauty tonight, girls.
Truth, I'm booking in for tomorrow's sick call now.
Who asked you to stick your bloody bib in?
Hey, how'd you go, Min?
No good.
Bloody Reno.
No, it's not her, it's that Harmsworth. You could tell he'd squashed the idea already.
It's not fair. We don't stand a chance of going straight when we get out of here.
Well, Rosemary did. She married a farmer.
Rosemary shouldn't have been here in the first place. She wasn't a crib.
Yeah, well, I reckon everyone bends the law.
Yeah, well, most people have a go.
It's just some get caught and others don't. Take me. I was dead unlucky. But I got mates who've been nicking stuff for years and never got sprung. What I'd done was chicken feed compared with them.
A good thief never gets caught.
You're saying I'm no good?
If you were, you wouldn't be in here.
Oh, well, maybe I ought to had you teaching me granny's smart ass.
That's not such a bad idea, Bobby. In fact, it's a very good idea. If the department won't help you, I will. Auntie Minnie's going to show you a thing or two that'll keep you on the outside a long, long time.
Well, I suppose you're right, Minnie. I mean, well, if you're going to do something, well, you may as well do it properly.
You know all about that from what I hear. But don't you get bored going through the same old wedding ceremony so many times?
Oh, no, that was the best part about it. I really miss it. Oh, but then again, I did catch the wedding bouquet, so something's bound to happen. You seem to find the broadcast from Barnhurst this morning interesting. Who's Rhonda?
It's a code name.
I realise that. Obviously somebody trying to set up some sort of transaction. What's your involvement?
Not a thing. I wouldn't mind, though. Fellows uses that name for drug drops at the prisons. There's good money in that.
So Barnhurst's going to get a little present from the Fellows Gang.
Just letting them know where and when to leave the dope.
Maybe the radio program's not such a bad idea after all.
I think you'll find Wentworth very different to working in a men's prison.
More like a holiday. Don't underestimate these women, Mr. Bridges. They'll try anything, especially on a new male officer.
I think Mr. Bridges will cope very well. Don't you let them frighten you off before you've even started. We're really glad to see you here.
Well, if I get the same welcome from the inmates they've had from the staff, I think I'll be very happy here.
You'll get a welcome from them, all right. Pixie Mason will probably propose before you've said hello.
Yes, it's a sort of profession with her. Unfortunately, 5 men said yes, so she married them all.
I'll try to resist her charms. You have Eddie Stevens' wife here, don't you? Did it cause any problems?
Oh, she's not the most popular person around. The women keep away from her.
Look, I've got to leave early today, but Mrs. Powell will give you the guided tour.
Looking forward to it. Would you like to go now?
Sure. I'll see you ladies later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Pixie Mason's not the only one we should have warned him about. I think all the women will think their Christmases have come at once.
I wouldn't worry too much. He can't have been in the service for 5 years without learning to take care of himself.
Well, I think the department's out of its mind sending us someone like him. The last thing we need is a pretty boy who's still wet behind the ears.
On the contrary, I think they've come up with someone who suits our needs perfectly. His references are excellent. He's obviously a compassionate young man.